Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Sun Devil Learning Labs. This episode is kindergarten math. My name is Miss Kopp, that's K-O-P-P, that's me, and I will be your teacher for today's lesson. This week we're doing a little plant-themed week going on with plant-themed read-alongs and activities, so I've got some of my plants here behind me to help us get into the spirit of things this week. So today we are working on our math foundations. That means what are the skills that you guys as kindergartners need to know to become really great students? Do you know your numbers? Can we count? Do we know our shapes? Do we know our colors? So those are all things we're going to talk about today. Today is week 6, day 2 of this Math Foundations program. So thank you so much if you've watched our other episodes and you're coming back. If this is your first time, then welcome. We're happy to have you. And I think you're going to really enjoy our programming and come on back for more. So let's get into what we have going for today. Our agenda over here is on the left in the green box. Today we're going to do a little bit of number work. We're going to work on our tripod grip, our read aloud for today. That's our plants feed me. And then we're going to do a little food shapes game to talk about that story that we read today. And as always, I'll give you some ways to practice these skills at home. Our materials that you will need today, what tools will you guys need for today's lesson? You will need these materials only if you are going to practice writing our number of the day with me. So our number of the day today is 7. We'll be talking about that in just a minute. But if you want to practice writing that number of the day with me today, you will need something to write with, maybe a crayon or a pencil, a marker, whatever you have. Then you will also need something to write on. I have a piece of paper, maybe you have a whiteboard, maybe you have some cardboard, whatever you have with you that you can write on is perfect. And then last thing you will need is something to hang that paper with. I like to write vertically, that means up and down, have my paper vertical like this instead of horizontal like we normally have it when we're writing on paper. So I like to hang my paper vertically like this. So if you want to do the same, you will need some tape, maybe a thumbtack, something that you will be able to hang that piece of paper with. So those are your materials and agenda for today. Let's dive in. These are our standards. That just means, what do the people in charge think that you guys as kindergartners need to know to become great students like we talked about? Can you count? Do you know how to use shapes? Do you know the names of shapes and how to describe stuff using the names of shapes? So we're going to work on all those things today. As always, we have our warm-up here, which is our number line. Our number line, just like a book, when we read a book, we start on the left and we move over and we read from left to the right. So just like reading a book, we're going to read our number line from the left over to the right. So we start with our smallest number, which is 0, when we have nothing or something, 0. And then we're going to move all the way over to the right and count to 10. So if you can count from 0 to 10, go ahead and count along with me. If you can read your numbers, read them on the number line as we go. If you don't know it yet, that's totally fine. Feel free to rewind the video and watch it a few times, or keep on tuning back into our episodes and you will definitely get the hang of it in no time at all. So let's count together. Like I said, if you know it, count with me. If you don't, rewatch the video a few times. I'm going to have a sip of water to warm up my voice for this. Phew. Okay, let's get started. Starting at the left at 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that is our number line, 0 to 10. Number lines are really helpful because they help us to see our numbers. Most of the time we're just thinking about our numbers in our head, right? But it really helps to be able to see our numbers and to know what we're talking about. So today, like I said, our number of the day is number 7. So you can see number 7, it's not the smallest number, it's not the biggest number, it's kind of in the middle. It's a little bit bigger than some of the other numbers. That's our number of the day today is 7. So here's a big giant 7 for you to look at, our number of the day today. This is what 7 looks like. So now we're going to get into our practice of writing the number 7, practicing writing the number 7. So pause the video here and take out those materials we talked about, something to write with, something to write on, maybe a way to hang your paper. Now is the time to take those out. You can pause the video to get those if you need to. And we're going to talk about today the tripod grip. We've been talking about this every day so far for this program because it's that important. Your tripod grip is how you hold what we're going to write with. So maybe it's a crayon, maybe it's a marker. It's how you actually hold what you're writing with. So I have a little warm up for us, a warm up for your hands and for your fingers to get them thinking about what are we going to do to write. So to do that warm up, you're going to spread your fingers out wide. You're going to touch the tip of each finger to your thumb. So it will look like this, your pointer finger, your middle finger, your ring finger, and your pinky finger. So if you want an extra challenge, you can try to do that faster and go as fast, maybe even as fast as you can. You can try to go backwards, starting at your pinky and moving to your pointer finger, or maybe do it with your other hand or both hands at the same time. That is how we warm up our hands and our fingers to be thinking about how we're going to be holding something and how we're going to write. So if you want to take another extra minute to do that hand warm up, you can pause the video here and take a little more time to do that. We are going to start talking about how to actually hold what we are writing with. So to hold something to write with, we are going to spread out our fingers. You're going to take your pointer finger and your thumb and pinch. We're going to pinch, just like this, pinch with our pointer finger and our thumb, the bottom end of whatever we're writing with. So maybe it's a marker like mine, maybe it's a crayon or a pencil. You're going to pinch that bottom end, just like that. Pinch. Then you're going to take your middle finger and you're going to slide it under your marker. Take your middle finger and slide it under your marker. So your marker is resting on top of it. So that is how we hold whatever we're going to be writing with. Like I said, maybe it's a crayon, maybe it's a pencil, maybe it's a marker. So you're only using 3 fingers to hold that writing utensil. 1, 2, 3. 3 fingers. So that's how we're holding what we're going to write with. Now let's get into how do we actually write the number 7. Let me get my screen shared here for you guys. Oop. There we go. So this is how you write the number 7. Some instructions. So in that little yellow box on the left side of the screen, I have a little rhyme for us about how to remember how to write the number 7. It says, across the sky and down from the heavens, that's the way to make a 7. So heavens, that's like in the sky. In old stories, the heavens means falling from the sky. So like our rhyme says, you go across the sky, fall down from the sky, down from the heavens. That's the way you make a 7. So across and down. So let's practice actually writing a 7. If you have your tape for your paper to hang that up, go ahead and do that now. I'm going to take a piece of tape, just a small little one. You do not need a big piece of tape. We don't want to waste our tape. And just like we don't want to waste our paper, I'm reusing my paper from yesterday's video where we talked about the number 6. Today we're talking about the number 7. So ignore this little 6 here that's in green. Today we're going to be talking about 7, which will be in red. So for 7, remember our rhyme, it says across the sky and down from the heavens. So we're going to start on the left side. On the left side, and move across the sky. So I move from left to right, across the sky, and then we go down, down from the heavens, down, down from the heavens. And that's the way you make a 7. So one more time, that is across the sky and down from the heavens. That's the way you make a 7. Across the sky, down the heavens. Across the sky, down the heavens. So there is our 7. So if you want to take a little bit more time to practice writing the number 7, go ahead and pause on this screen where you have the picture of the instructions and the rhyme about how to do it, and take a few extra minutes to practice how to write the number 7. That is our number of the day today, 7. So now we've talked about how to write the number 7. Now let's see what the number 7 can really look like. So here in the middle, in that green box, you can see our number 7, just like how we were writing it before, our number 7. And over in the top left corner of the screen here, that's our tens chart. We're always talking about our tens chart in kindergarten. It's really important to help us see numbers. So to see the number 7, we colored in 7 of the squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. So that's 7 using a tens chart. Over here is how we spell the word 7. These are the letters that make the sounds for the word 7. So if you want to take a look, go ahead and say those letters out loud with me if you know them. It's S, E, V, E, N, 7. Down here we have our tally marks. Remember, tally marks are something we use to keep track when something's happening really fast. So we have 7. We know that when we have this diagonal tally mark, that means it's a group of 5 right there, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7 tally marks. And then over here, we always have a picture of something. Here's a picture of 7 muffins, and they are making me hungry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. So that's our number of the day today, number 7. Feel free to pause the video here if you want to look at some of these different ways to see 7 for a little longer. Today, now we're going to talk about our read aloud, our story that we're reading today. It is called Plants Feed Me. Here's our cover of our story. We can see the illustration there. Plants Feed Me by Lizzie Rockwell. So we can see they've grown those plants, they're harvesting, they're picking the fruit and the vegetables that has grown on there. So I'm gonna have some sips of water to get ready for this read aloud. Go ahead and have something to drink if you have something with you as well. Much better. So let's get into our story today. Plants feed me. I am a plant eater. We eat plants. We eat just like he has. He's eating fruit, a watermelon, some cherries, and we eat a lot of vegetables, maybe carrots or peppers or zucchini or onion. We are plant eaters. Plants reach up for the sun. They grow down in the ground. So plants grow both ways. They grow down into the ground, and they also grow up, reaching for the sun. The sun, remember we talked about yesterday, the sun and the water, that's their food. That's what they need to grow. I eat different parts from different plants. Sometimes I eat the leaves. So these are different plants that we eat the leaves of, maybe chard. You've probably heard of lettuce, cabbage, spinach. Those are all plants that we eat the leaves of. Sometimes I eat the roots and tubers. I eat the bulbs, and I eat stems and flowers too. So the roots and tubers, those are the parts that are underneath the ground. Sometimes we eat the parts that grow underneath the ground, like carrots, beets, potatoes, radish, and parsnips. Those are all vegetables that we eat the part that grows underneath the ground. Sometimes we eat the bulbs and stems. An onion is something that we eat the bulb. It's like a part that grows kind of in the ground, but also grows up out of it. The stem is like the asparagus. We eat the asparagus. We don't eat the stringy parts of the asparagus that grow under the ground. We eat the roots that grow, the stems that grow up. And then we eat the flowers. Broccoli is an example of that. Broccoli is actually a flower. It's not the leaf, it's the flower of the bush. So those are a few examples. I eat fruits. Some grow on trees. First, flowers bloom, then come the fruits. Fruits have seeds. A seed can grow a new plant. So here he is picking an apple, and apple is a great example of some of the fruits that we like to eat. So to grow a fruit, first the flowers will bloom on whatever plant it is. First the flowers will bloom, and then the fruits come from that. Fruits carry seeds. Seeds are really important. That's what starts this whole plant journey, right? Is we plant a seed and it grows and grows into a bigger plant until it can make a fruit. And those fruit make their own seeds. So the process can keep going over and over and over again. That's how we still have food today. Blueberries are fruits. They grow on a bush. There's a picture of those blueberries growing on a bush all amongst those flowers. And melons are fruits. They grow on a vine. So here's this long, big vine growing through this dirt, and the melons grow off of that vine. Looks like these are those cantaloupe melons that are orange on the inside. Fruits hang from the tomato plant. So the tomato plant is one of those that grows up really tall, and the fruits hang off of it. Pumpkins, peppers, and eggplants are all fruits too. Pumpkins, peppers, and eggplants are all fruits too. In some plants, the seed is the best part to eat. Peas are seeds. They grow inside pods. Beans do too, like string beans, cranberry beans, and dried beans. So sometimes the seed is the best part. Sometimes we eat the leaf or the flower or the fruit, and sometimes we eat the seeds themselves. I eat seeds from rice plants. I eat seeds from wheat plants. Wheat seeds make flour, and flour is used to make bread and lots more. Flour is really important. We use it in a ton of the food that we eat. So we're eating a bunch of wheat seed all day long. Walnuts are seeds. They fall from trees. So a lot of people eat nuts. They're a very healthy snack. And these walnuts are actually seeds that just fall right off of trees. If you planted a walnut, it could grow into a new plant. I eat seeds and I eat leaves. I eat flowers, bulbs, and stems. I eat roots and fruits. Plants feed me. Plants feed the world. So not only do humans eat plants, but all of these animals eat different plants too. So plants really do, they feed the whole world, not just humans, but animals too. So that's the end of our story for today, but I have a really fun activity to look at the different shapes of the foods that we saw. So let's look at some of the plants from our read aloud of Plants Feed Me, and we will decide what shapes the plants grow into. So here's our first example. Our first example, it's a couple of plants. They all share a similar shape. They're all kind of shaped the same. So tell me, go ahead and say out loud or talk about it with somebody near you. Pause the video if you would like to take some more time to talk about it. What shape do you see here? Take a look at this. This is our onion. This is our pumpkin. And this is our radish, I believe, or maybe it's a beet. Either way, it's got that same shape. So what shape do you see? I see I see this shape. Who knows the name of this shape? This is a circle. So a lot of plants will grow into a circle shape. I have a few different examples of different size circles, different colored circles. Circle is a really common shape in our food. So let's try another one. What shape do you see here? This one's a little trickier. What shape do you see here? It's a carrot. We have some chard and a parsnip. Let's see. Go ahead and pause the video again. Say out loud, what shapes do you see? What do you think? Go ahead and talk about it with somebody. What shape do you see? Here's some hints of the shapes that I could see. Who knows I was gonna say, who knows the name of this shape? And here it is, the triangle. Our triangle. So here's a few different examples of what a triangle can look like, different shapes, different colors and sizes. Triangle has 3 sides. That's the most important thing. So these are triangles. Now, what shape do you see here? This one I kind of had to, you have to use your imagination a little bit. It's not super clear. I had to be creative with this one. What shape do you see? Pause the video and say your ideas. What do you think you see? What shapes do you see here? I saw they're kind of rectangles or maybe squares, something with 4 sides. So these little pieces are square, but also the whole thing is a square too. And same thing with this green pepper. Little squares that make up a big square. So the shape I saw there was a square. So here's a couple different colors and sizes of squares. Squares are not as common in our food as some of the other shapes. We see that less than other shapes, right? Let's try one more. What shape do you see in these pictures? So we've got that cantaloupe melon over here on the left, our blueberries in the middle, our apples on the right. Go ahead and pause the video. What shape do you see? I see a hint here of what shape I think it is. Go ahead and say it. It's one we've talked about before. This shape is a circle. So a lot of foods that we will eat grow in that circular size. Pretty interesting. Just like our world itself, it's circular, circle. So that was our little shape scheme for today. I do have some more practice at home, some ways that you can practice your shapes and experience with counting a little bit more. So meal times, those are a great opportunity to practice with shapes and counting. So during your next meal, just try to identify what shapes are your food. The food that's on your plate. What shape are those food? And it doesn't have to be exact. Have fun with it. Get creative. Try to be imaginative of what shapes do you see on your plate. And then pay attention to how do the shapes change as you eat. Do they turn into different shapes? Is it the same shape but smaller? Can you make shapes based on how you eat? So just have a little bit more fun during mealtime with your food and with shapes and counting. And then on the next slide, I have a second activity to practice at home that works on shape identification and counting. So this is a great activity. Children will color each item according to how many there are, according to the shape of it. So let me show you what I mean. It shows you that when you have this sort of diamond shape, there will only ever be one of it. And you color that one black. If you see triangles, there will always be 2 triangles together. 2 triangles, just like right here and right here. And you should color those blue. So keep on following this key to color in all the shapes that you see on this screen. So I have the instructions to screenshot if you would like to screenshot this activity and print it out so that they can color on it and practice that way. Or if you don't have the ability to print it out, you can edit the screenshot and color it in just using your phone or computer, or just do it in your head. Imagine it. What color would you color in which shape? How would that work? So those are all different ways you can practice your math and your shapes at home. Feel free to screenshot this page as well if you want to get a copy of the instructions. That's perfect. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this lesson today. Like I said, our whole week this week is plant themed. So if you have enjoyed some of our plant read-alongs and our plant games, keep on tuning into this week 6 programming. We will just have more and more of that plant stuff coming for you. So again, this has been Sun Devil Learning Labs, Kindergarten Math. And my name is Miss Kopp. I will be here for the rest of week 6. So I hope to see you again, and stay safe until I see you.